The aunt was farting and making a sound when she strained, and soon our eyes met. From a flustered expression to a shy expression, the aunt and I were looking at each other. Like and subscribe, please. I am a farmer living alone, farming the fields and fields that my parents used to farm during their lifetime are about 40,000 pyong. I can't farm all of it, so I sold some of it and bought a building in the town to live on rent. And I farm some of the land myself. The rent for a rural building is not that big, but it is enough to eat alone, pay taxes, and live. Sometimes I travel and live a leisurely life. I am an economically affluent man, but there are no women who will marry me in this countryside. I did not mention the property I inherited from my parents to women. Even if I mention it, women who do not know the value of rural land will not come to marry. So I live alone. It's familiar and comfortable to live alone. There are times when I feel a little lonely, but I have women to contact and get along with, so it's okay. I'm 38, and soon the women I've been in touch with and getting along with may get married, one by one, and I might feel more lonely. I got a girlfriend recently. It's a bit daunting because the other person is like an aunt, but she has a knack for driving people crazy. People might laugh if I say I felt charm enough to lose my sanity because of urine and farts, but it's true. This is a rural area. There are people who have built country houses and moved in from outside. Due to the nature of the countryside, the neighborhood people help each other. In the past, it was about going to each other's houses, eating and working, but now they pay each other a daily wage. It's probably because some houses have a lot of work, and some houses have less work. Among the neighborhood ladies, there is one lady who is too urban to be called a farmer's wife. Her husband is my uncle. I heard that he is a few generations away from my father, but I don't remember how many generations he is. I just know that he is older than me and is about the age of my father. He is 15 years older than me, so it's ambiguous whether to call him an uncle or a brother. My classmates called that man a brother, so I once called him a brother. However, I was aware of the eyes of the adults in the neighborhood, and I changed the title to uncle from some point. The uncle's wife in that house has a city-like appearance and a unique eyes smile that captivates men. When she smiles with her eyes, my heart flutters in all directions. It's a strange thing. My classmates call such a wife a plain-looking farmer's wife. Although she is over 50 and her skin has deteriorated a lot, so her appearance is not as good as before, she is still like a goddess to me. When I can't sleep thinking about her in my young blood, I feel sorry for the uncle. At the end of June, in the heat of the summer, I had to dig up potatoes in the field, so I called the people in the neighborhood. Most of the people who came to work were over 60 years old. A young uncle and aunt also came and worked together. I briefly went home to get the choco pies and banana milk I bought the day before, and on my way back to the field, I was so surprised that I stopped in my tracks. Next to the path to the field, I saw the aunt squatting to urinate. Although it's next to the road, It's a place that's open in all directions. Even so, it's a place where people don't pass by. So it's okay to do your business as much as you want. The aunt had come to that place for a moment to do her business while working. I was lost in the sight of my aunt squatting down. I was focusing on the sound of her urinating when I was startled by the sound of her farting. The loud and long fart sound surprised me, but I was more surprised because the fart didn't suit my aunt, who was a goddess in my soul. The aunt was farting and making a sound when she strained, and soon our eyes met. From a flustered expression to a shy expression, the aunt and I were looking at each other. When the aunt laughed as if she was embarrassed, I couldn't help but laugh. Since that day, I've been more attracted to her. Once you start to see someone in a good light, it's scary how they only seem to appear in a good light. My aunt, who seems to exude more color by adding humanity to the image of a goddess, is truly fascinating. It's interesting. If a middle-aged woman in her 50s had loudly farted in front of me, I would have pretended not to notice, but I don't think I would have liked it. I might have cursed inwardly. A few days later, I asked the man for a favor. I needed just one worker for a job, so I asked a young and capable man in the neighborhood. There was a reason why the man was an easy person to ask. It was a hot summer day, so we couldn't work during the day. The man was supposed to come at dawn, but the man didn't come, and the woman came and asked what was going on. The man suddenly fell ill and couldn't come, so the woman came instead. I was glad that the woman came, but men were much better at work, so I didn't know if I should be happy. I started working with the woman right away, squatting down and doing farm work. The woman kept farting. A woman in her 50s wouldn't have held back her farts. Since she had seen me since I was young, she might think of me as a family. It would be natural for a country woman to fart while doing farm work. It was past 9 o'clock, and the scorching heat was coming in, so I had lunch with the woman. We went home and had a quick lunch together. When I asked if she should take care of the man's meal, she called and said the man had no appetite. After eating lunch on a hot summer day, I felt sluggish. I was drained from sweating and working, so I took a shower with cold water. While I was showering, the bathroom door opened. I was surprised and looked up, and the woman was looking at me with a shy smile and sat on the toilet to do her business. She pulled down her pants and sat on the toilet to do her business, so I thought she must have been in a hurry. The stream of urine seemed to weaken, and then the woman farted. It was so loud that it echoed in the bathroom. I was startled again, and our eyes met, and the woman looked at me and smiled shyly again. I had no choice but to smile to make the woman feel comfortable. Even after she had finished her business, the woman did not get up and kept looking at me. I glanced at the woman, but she kept looking at me. After defecating, the woman suggested to me that we should take a nap and work again when the sun weakens. There wasn't much work left, so I agreed. When I came out, the woman was sleeping in her underwear, fanning herself. I had come out thinking of sleeping, but seeing the woman sleeping, I woke up completely. The woman, who seemed to have woken up from sleep, told me to sleep. I was going to sleep on the floor because it was cool. But the woman rolled to one side of the bed and told me to sleep comfortably on the bed. I didn't know either, so I lay down on the bed. How could I sleep when I was lying in the same bed with the woman who was the goddess in my heart? I closed my eyes for now, and the woman put her leg on my thigh. The woman said, "I sleep with my leg up like this. Is it okay?" But my heart was pounding. I tried to calm my heart, which wouldn't calm down, but it didn't go as planned, and I guessed the woman's intention when she told me to lie down on the bed and then raised her leg. I tried to calm my heart that wouldn't calm down, but it didn't go as planned, and I guessed the intention of the woman who told me to lie down on the bed and then raised her leg. I just put it into action. After that day, whenever the man went to work at another house, I called the woman, saying there was work to do at home. On the days I didn't call, the woman called me. The reasons were that the light in the house went out or the pump didn't work. But it was something that could be resolved after the man came in. Every time we met, we carried out our important tasks. The woman had a peculiar point. Even during intercourse, she farted in time with her moaning sounds. And then she looked up at me and smiled shyly. The sight of her frowning and smiling shyly was so pretty. On some days, the smell of her farts was strong, but it worked as an aphrodisiac for me. Her fart made me even more crazy. While having a brief conversation in the neighborhood, she farted and laughed shyly. That sight was truly beautiful. During that time, her husband passed away in the early winter of that year. He had been unwell all summer and ultimately did not make it through the year. After the funeral, she and I were able to meet more freely. I went to her house to sleep, and she came to my house to sleep. The cooking skills of my aunt are excellent. She always prepares a feast when she meets me. Even while eating together, she does not hold back and farts. Then she smiles shyly, and it seems like her fart has become a signal to get to our important work. I'm not sure if it was a good thing that I didn't get married and lived as a bachelor until this age.